Hello. Hey everyone, it's me, Ash. And I hope you're doing well. Look, you're probably wondering why I paused on my name there all dramatic like. And honestly, the truth is, for most of you, there wasn't much to really go off of there. But for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened. I'm beefing with JAKSFILMS, bitch! Okay, so let me go ahead and give you like a bit of lore here, right? I'm a huge fan of JAKSFILMS, man. In fact... Now, naturally, I was also a big fan of his podcast with his wife, Erin, called Erin is the Funny One. And like, I'm a real JAKSFILMS head too, bro. When you guys saw that podcast title, y'all went, oh yeah, thanks for letting us know. I said thanks for the reminder. I remember specifically I would listen to it a lot during the summer a couple years ago. Some core memory shit for me. And like, I was 16 or 17 at the time too, bro. Like, you don't get much of those when you're in high school. That shit burns out quick, dog. So for the most part, that is how things were left until one day I shot a text to their hotline. Dad Hug Me 10 is the number, and for the uninitiated, you'd call or text this hotline for ideas you might have, or really just to say whatever you want to say, and it was pretty funny. See, just a little bit before the podcast would eventually go off the air for a couple years, I pitched this idea called the Twitter quiz. Those who knows versus those who don't know. And basically the idea was just like taking a tweet from a celebrity or something of the sort, and then giving a list of options and being like, hey, who posted this tweet? Now listen, as much as I wish I still had these messages, I don't. Eventually I switched my phones and I didn't carry over all of the contact information or whatever. I'm a bitch, okay? Then again, I also simply wouldn't post private messages on a public platform without asking them first, hey, what's up, Drake? So I shot that out, and for a couple of days there wasn't much of anything going on that front. And then I got a text back. Basically, it was something to the effect of, hey, this is a really cool idea. Can we get your name and pronouns and then we'll credit you in the video? Just like this, you know, real sweet text thing, basically asking for credit so they can credit me. And I'm like, oh, right, cool, sure thing. Here's my name, here's my pronouns, whatever. Thank you, appreciate it. Cool. And then fast forward like a couple more days, I think it was like 2, and then let's go ahead and take a look at what happened on the Jumbotron, why don't we?
And this particular quiz idea did not come from a voicemail.
Ooh.
It came from a text. An anonymous texter texted into the hotline.
No shit. Wait, really? They were like, I am anonymous. Do not name me.
Well, there is no name. There's just a number. And
usually what I do when I try to credit somebody, Jack, and they text the idea in, is that I say, I love this idea so much. Could you please give me your name and pronouns? I'd love to give you the proper credit for it. And here you are. You're just like, never mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take all the credit for myself and call them anonymous.
Okay, I'm texting him right now.
I got that text at 2 in the morning. Who sends a message on a podcast hotline at 3 in the morning? Oh boy, 3 a.m. And thus, my fate was sealed. I'd be forever known as the guy who didn't come up with the Twitter quiz. But I am! And look, right? I was just gonna be chill about it. I was just gonna let that slide, man. You caught me on a good day, pal. And so then, like, as we all know, Erin is the Funny One would go off of the air for a couple years there, and balance would finally be restored. And then it came back! The ghosts of my past have haunted me for the last time since the return of Erin is the Funny One. 1 month as of recording this. The Twitter quiz has been used for 50% of all of the videos since the return. 2 out of 4. I am the Erin is the Funny One return. Who do you think you are? I am. So here's the dealio, right? First of all, fuck you, Jack. if that's even your real name. Now I get to strike back. I'm going to talk ad nauseum about your stupid game. I will drive Be Funny Now into the history books, and there's nothing you can do to stand in my way. The children of our children will look upon this moment in history and laugh. Like at you, I mean, they're gonna laugh at you, man. And best of all, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna strike a little bit of a deal with you, man. Since you used the Twitter quiz for roughly 50% of the podcast's return in 1 month, if you give me a public apology, I will go into YouTube Studio itself and cut, let's say, 50 seconds from this video. So yeah! This is a Be Funny Now retrospective. Suck my dick and balls. JAKSFILMS. YouTuber. Old YouTuber. He has this series called Yai for the Uninitiated, which basically compiles a ton of comment responses to a prompt, and then depending on the episode, either JAKSFILMS or his team will collect the best ones and put them in a video, and they will laugh at them. I know it sounds like abysmal dog shit, but it's funny, I promise. In fact, this series was so awesome that it made me buy a watch. I have a phone. Seriously, there's so much funny and creative stuff to come out of Yai. And one of my favorite aspects about the show overall is the fact that so many times there are so many episodes that allow for creatives to basically get credit, get support, and get a platform for their work. Things like the Spook Me Up for October miniseries genuinely have so many incredible, talented artists who all get credited for their work, and it's so cool to see. I said it's so cool to see. It became this really cool community-driven thing, and I just think that that's genuinely incredible. So after roughly 2 years of daily uploads that felt like 10, we would eventually see a small little upload to this channel that would change everything. On April 5th of 2022, JAKSFILMS would upload a video titled, "I Really Messed Up." It's okay, Sweet Pea, I forgive you. See, he recorded a sketch with some of his friends, but something seemed off.
Okay, yep, all right, bye. Brock's not coming.
What?
He's what?
But he knows we're supposed to play Be Funny Now.
Now, normally I'd point out that this is very obviously like a test screenshot and not like something to actually take serious as like a, oh, haha, gotcha moment, you know? But honestly, as someone who's seen a lot of Comment Etiquette's videos, I think it'd be way funnier if his character was just like inexplicably an eldritch god at Be Funny Now. From here, we get the lore dump. Be Funny Now is a Jackbox style party game based off of JAKSFILMS' Yai series, or more accurately, its format anyway. Up to 8 people can play together in public lobbies, and you can create a private one to play with friends or join a public one together. The game itself effectively shows a prompt, which can then be rated on good to bad answer scales, and then the person with the best votes wins. It's dress to impress rules, you get the situation. There's also a daily question, a public thing which effectively routinely puts sets of 2 answers to a prompt against each other. At least until the day concludes, we get a winner or someone with the best answer, and a new question is picked. The game itself is free with more details to be revealed later. Regardless, we now know that a strange little video game project from JAKSFILMS is now in the works. On top of that, we also have a new Yai prompt that will almost certainly have more information attached to it. I remember interest for this game being pretty high in the JAKSFILMS community around this time, honestly. I mean, Yai as a format seems so well suited for a video game type party game thing. And with these like game show-esque concepts going around at the time, such as Yai Live or Yai Live Live, this seemed like kind of a no-brainer idea in some capacity. And speaking of no brains, yeah, this just kind of feels like a Quiplash reskin, doesn't it? Only with Be Funny Now being just that, and Quiplash and Jackbox being partnered with a host of other party games. The main thing Be Funny Now had to its name was that it would be free. Regardless though, even without having seen much in the way of gameplay so far, this really did have the groundwork to be potentially a legitimate competitor to party games such as Jackbox and whatnot. But still, if we're being really technical, this is a YouTuber making a live service game. And what do you think would make more money? This? Or this?
Oh boy! No scaffolding. Zero scaffolding, I promise.
You sound ridiculous.
Okay, bad example, but you get the point though. Eventually though, on April 28th, 2022, we would get that Yai episode that would actually include a much more extensive gameplay focused trailer for Be Funny Now. For what it's worth too, this video is also really funny. There's actually a submission here from someone called Weeble Stuff who did such hits as Narwhals, Badgers, Doge Adventure, and fuck you, I'm gonna talk about these. I gotta get some stuff off my chest.
Narwhal swimming in the ocean, pretty big and pretty wide, and beat a polar bear in a fight.
Man, and they say 2000s kids didn't grow up with brain rot. Splat Me Do and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
Narwhals!
Just don't let him touch your ball.
Close enough. Scott Walker, if he was fucking good.
Wow!
He's going to the moon, bro. He's going to the moon, bro. Fuck! Man, like, Apollo gotta be one of the most evil motherfuckers alive, dog. Like, why does he just have to give the gift of prophecy to the worst things you can possibly imagine? Like, bro, who pooped on your monkey's paw? Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. I'm pissed. We find out a little bit more about how the moment-to-moment gameplay goes. Players vote for one of 3 prompts, and then everybody fills out that prompt, and then you rate everyone's prompt on a scale of 1 to 5, only with different emojis to select from. Only the 2 ends, 1 and 5, are represented with golden flowers and tomatoes, which you have a limited number of in your arsenal. Got all that? It's sort of like the America's Got Talent Golden Buzzer and the America's Got Talent Golden Buzzer of hate speech. We also have the option to join private-only lobbies with friends. A lesser YouTuber than me would probably make a self-deprecating joke about how they have no friends, but it's all of you guys I keep seeing in those public lobbies. Wait, yo, I just got back from the private lobby store. Nobody knew you. You can also gain currency after each match, which can be used to buy cosmetic options for your character, currency that can also be bought within the game itself for real hardcore cash. Finally, we get a confirmed release date of May 17th, less than a month after this video was released. We also eventually caught a billboard for the game, which... Look, there was a website link to get the game, but the way that the billboard was located, the link was perfectly blocked by the building in front of it. He wasted $3,500. Fast forward again to just a bit before the game released, and JacksFilms would promote the game again through a charity live stream for an organization defending Texas rights. Good stuff, by the way, ignoring the like, oh, I'm mad at you, grr bit. Like, that's genuinely so cool to see. Now, I won't be going over many of the details of the game itself here because, spoilers, the game is unplayable now. I can't verify shit, dog. But I will be using using this footage right here, as well as some other footage I might find across the actual internet to help explain the actual game mechanics when the game releases. Just know that to me, at the time, this looked like a blast to play, man. It really did hit in kind of the same style as a Jackbox game, which works so well and really got me excited to play this thing. And then I played the thing. Ah, Be Funny Now, the evil middle child of projects that JacksFilms knew would end up costing him money, but still probably ended up costing him more money than he expected it to. Look, let's get the positives out of the way first, right? First of all, the fact that, as far as I remember anyway, there were pretty minimal ads and all in-app purchases were cosmetic only with currency you could just get by playing the game is like a great move. Like seriously, this game never felt like it was like a goofy little mobile game. It didn't feel like it was trying to get me to like cough up $10 million. Dude, I already get enough of that from my doctor. The actual gameplay itself is a little rough paced, but depending on the crowd you got, it actually opens up for a lot of funny opportunities to just kind of bully your friends. And man, the soundtrack to this thing too is just so comfy and fun. It's got this like small town coffee shop energy to it that I genuinely adore. It's so cool and awesome, and again, just so freaking fun. The art style too, though I know a lot of people had issues with it at the time, honestly, I think kind of works for what the game is trying to do pretty well. It adds a lot of this cozy charm to the game with even more personality than something like Quiplash. Like, dude, have you ever met a Quiplash player like this? Yeah, dude, let's go! I fucking love colored spirals! Alright, fun's over, bub. Man, this game reeked when it came out, and honestly, it's made worse because there was so much there that was good. First of all, I mean, public lobbies in this game just kind of sucked. I played this game a pretty decent amount when it first came out, even on launch day itself, and man, I just did not have a fun time in a public lobby. And I think that's because, first and foremost, this game just does not work in the context of playing alone online with strangers. Think about it. If you vote good, your opponent wins. If you vote bad, your opponent loses. And every player is funded by the NRA. Who do you think is gonna win here? You can just spam all of your opponents with tomatoes if you got them, and if not, the lowest possible emoji rating that you can do. And then everyone sucks here. Seriously, it's kind of astounding how much this game just does not work in the setting of a public context. I obviously can't attest to this, but it really felt like all of the playtesting for this game was just, oh, let's get all of the people who made the game together in a public lobby and play it together and have fun. Like with anything like this, you kind of have to make it cheat proof. And like, I just don't see how everything being taken into account, this game being as rough as it was on launch, that was actually taken into consideration. And speaking of those emojis, by the way, I don't know how to tell you this, man, but they're never gonna make that sequel. Now, what I'm about to say next here as well, I don't want anybody to necessarily take offense to or anything like that, but fan bases suck, dog. This isn't a diss against JacksFilms or his community specifically, because honestly, anybody's community would do this. But man, this game just does not work as a public lobby live service thing made by a YouTuber. Now, don't get it twisted, I've always been of the belief that if you let a fan base ruin something for you, you are a person who is so afraid of themselves that it gets into the way of your ability to experience joy. Unless, of course, we're talking about the Killing Small Orphans orphans fan base, I mean, you probably shouldn't associate with those guys. People might think that you kill orphans for fun. Look, all I'm saying is that, especially with YouTubers nowadays, there's so many little like inside jokes and things like that. And then those jokes and one-liners and bits and references get repeated so often that it kind of becomes the literary equivalent of kudzu. Like, dog, if you're scared of taking your SATs, go into a needle drop comment section for 10 minutes and then try to take your test. Like, I did this once and they actually put me back into the 2nd grade. So now I get to try a second time. If you are in a lobby of Try to Make People Laugh the video game and you don't know anybody there except for the fact that they probably watch a YouTuber you like, you're just gonna keep making references to a YouTuber you like, man. Like, dude, what else are they supposed to do? Man, I love e-dating. Oh boy, I sure can't wait to come up with a hilarious quip and one-liner for the brand new hit game Be Funny Now, available now on Steam, iOS, and Android. The humble light switch. Not to mention, with all of this, there were also some people I found talking around this time about the game who seemingly felt like it didn't even live up to the promises set by the trailers that were released up until that point. More specifically, in the reveal trailer, it says,
And Jack, we can always play with just the four of us, either in a private or public lobby together.
Which seemingly implied you'd be able to link up with friends and fill up to 4 slots in a public lobby. Though on release, this seemingly wasn't actually feasible. I can't confirm for sure, since I barely remember this was almost 3 years ago now, give me a break. But I have seen a few people take issue on forums around this time. On top of that, the official Steam description says, and I quote, "Play with friends in private lobbies or get started immediately in a public lobby for 2 to 8 player action." Again, this is all speculation on my end though, and I can't confirm whether or not this was never added in updates, or was actually there on launch for sure, because it slipped, farted, and killed itself. Unfortunately too, through minor updates here and there made to the game over the course of the following 6 months, the game would get a pretty bad promotional run as well. We'd see other YouTube creators play it through sponsorships, most notably him joining up with Smosh to play the game for an episode of Smosh Games.
No, I'm busy playing Jackbox. Sorry. JAKKSFILMS presents Be Funny Now. It's like Quiplash, but instead of laughter, you get ads.
Outside of this, though, the majority of the promotion really just came down to Twitch streams playing the game and YAI-formatted YouTube shorts. These shorts basically, again, took that same YAI format, but sourced the answers from the game and then plugged the game at the end. These were uploaded pretty frequently and kind of just felt tedious. It's like instead of doing YAI because YAI was fun, it was a last-ditch effort to get the eyes of even his own viewers on the game at that point, instead of bringing in outside people to get in on it. However, this was still nowhere close to the end of Be Funny Now, and we'd see some pretty drastic changes being made roughly 6 months after its release. On November 8th of that year, we would get a pretty major update to the game, and on top of that, a brand new video uploaded to the JAKKSFILMS channel. The video itself called "Here's Why My Game Failed." And dude, I've got chills, man.
The tragic death of Be Funny Now.
Let's fucking go! Chills basically narrates the same issues we've been talking about here so far, followed by JAKKSFILMS himself updating people on the status of the game. First of all, instead of a ranking system, the format has now changed to answers being pitted against each other in a bracket until one player actually wins each round of 3. Plus, the original emoji voting structure could be returned to with lobby setting edits. But there was still one looming issue this entire time: the player count. See, as Chills so eloquently informs us, the player count dropped from a day 1 of 50,000 players to 0. 0 players in the world across an entire day. Fuck, man. It sucks because effectively what this means is the game would have to essentially start from scratch in its promotion, all while in addition to that shaking off the bad player experiences that people have had over the past half a year. Unfortunately, its early release at this point seemed like it might have dug itself into a grave that this game really just wasn't prepared for. This game was being held together by sticks, glue, and a dream, something that, in all honesty, was really commendable. Seeing this game last as long as it did past this point was legitimately huge, despite low player counts, difficulty getting into public lobbies, and so on. The game itself remained active for a good few years after this, ensuring that while it might be hard to get into public lobbies and things like that, players at least had the opportunity to play it privately, which is honestly the best way to experience this game in my opinion. But after over a year since this update, the servers for the game and in turn the game itself would officially shut down. And what better way to celebrate the life of this game than to go back to its roots? A funeral. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
It's like Quiplash, but instead of laughter, you get ads. Damien Haas. 2022.
Everything comes full circle, doesn't it? This was such a fun little way to give a final send-off to this game, but in reality, something else was brewing. Pithee is the current spiritual successor to Be Funny Now, with it basically taking the daily question mechanic and turning it into the entire gimmick of this game. Instead of a prompt though, players can go into this site, submit something that they think is funny, and then people can vote between sets of 4 until a 10-minute interval takes whatever comment got the most votes and is deemed the winner. The gimmick is advertised as a competitive and good version of Twitter, where you can say pretty much whatever you think is funny and just see how good it does for fun. So while I can't still play Be Funny Now, I can play. Alright, ladies, we're playing Pithee. Pithee? Why, I hardly know. Alright, so as you can clearly see, we have ourselves our winner over here. Let's go ahead and read this really quick. Pissing in the pool. Pissing in the pool, please. If you laugh, you go to Guantanamo. As you can see, I very clearly do not exist. There's nothing I have, can, or will do to be able to fix this perpetual loading screen forever. It used to work, and now it doesn't. Support Pithee on Ko-Fi. Let's go ahead and support Pithee on Ko-Fi. Okay, 135 or more or less or anything in between. You can do this if you would like. I have no money. All right. Meow, 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 meow. Or pissing in the pool, please. Or potato chips. Or a secret fourth thing we'll find out later. I can't really eat potato chips. And I am kind of allergic to cats. I think. I don't really know about that though. Now, I am a big fan of peeing in pools, so I think I might go with that one. Now we've got potato chips. Or we've got pissing in the pool. Pissing in the pool, please. As much of a fan as I am of peeing in pools, I've got to say, I am a pretty big fan of potato chips. So now we've got meow 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 or potato chips. Now I'm not really a big fan of potato chips, so I think I'm going for the meow here. Now we've got meow 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 or some nice sweet delectable potato chips. Now me personally, I love potato chips. I eat them all the time. I can definitely have them. They definitely don't do horrible things for my kidneys, so I think I'm going potato chips on this one. Now we've got potato chips, or we've got potato chips, or we've got pissing in the pool, please. I've got to say, I'm a really big fan of potato chips, so I think I'm gonna go for the potato chips. Now we've got two different potato chips, both of which I really like. You can tell by the star. Or we've got pissing in the pool, please, which I think I'm going back to my roots on this one. Let's go pissing in the pool. All right, let's go pissing in the pool again, sure. And then You know what? I don't really like any of these. Let's go ahead and shuffle them. I know. I think I made a bad decision with pissing in the pool. I think we should go meow. And then potato chips. And then potato chips again. And then fuck it, let's go potato chips. And now as we can see, free speech has been taken away and I can only go for more potato chips. Waiter, let's get another round over here. You know, it's really funny because I did this whole like outro about how like, you know what, Pithee, it like really is kind of like the brand new thing, you know? You can come up with an idea and you might try your best to execute it, but things just might not work out. And that's okay because even in lieu of something not working out, you can always create a Pithee. You can always create something new, something exciting, something extravagant out of the ideas and the pieces that you kind of left. This whole video really hinged on Pithee being functional. Now, I haven't been on this to test it out since it launched about, I don't know, like a year and a half ago at this point. I don't know, time is an illusion. The universe is dying. But I can clearly see there are exactly 3 people that remain on Pithee as well, which is interesting. So I guess my conclusion still kind of holds true, you know? Maybe we'll get Yai live sometime next year. Maybe we'll get like a Scott the Woz Monopoly, but for fucking Yai and shit. I don't know. This has been the entirety of Pithee. I would still like to see Pithee do good again. I would like to see Pithee survive anything. So if you guys want, please go over to Pithee and join Pithee. Let's go ahead and make ourselves a pith. Why don't we? She piss on my till I steal my parents' credit card. Quality at work. Let's see the winner. Who won? Meow, 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 meow. By fucking dipshit ass. Overall, despite a lot of my issues that I still have with this game, I found this experience to be way more fun and enjoyable than something like Be Funny Now for all of 30 minutes. See, as of writing this script and the me that you're seeing right now being simply the messenger of the version of myself that actually wrote this script, I playtested this thing off camera, and as of that playtest, half of the responses that I would get on Pithee were these 80 character segments of the entirety of the Shrek 2 script. Not only that, but a lack of player base at this point, especially when you consider this game hasn't gotten much in the way of promotion at all, means that I would playtest this at 10 in the morning and then come back at 4:30 p.m. that day. I'm not joking, those are the actual times, and still get the same options I saw at that 10 in the morning spot. Not only that, but every time I've ever submitted my own little funny little pith or whatever, they're called piths, I didn't get a single vote. Like, nary a one. Am I just not funny, you guys? But honestly, even with all of those flaws, the foundation of a game that could potentially be infinitely more fun than Be Funny Now is still there. The gameplay loop itself is shockingly addicting. Not only that, but the ability to pop in and out for a couple minutes here and there at your own discretion instead of having to commit yourself to an entire round of something is so huge. Not to mention that without the use of a prompt or a starting question or anything like that, it gives people the option to be way more creative and honestly way funnier because they don't have to contend with a very specific set of guidelines that they have to fit their comedy into. Despite my issues with it, I love Pithee. And Sniper Wolf has the ability to do the funniest thing ever. So kids, what did we learn today? Well, first and foremost, there's never such a thing as a bad idea. In fact, your dumb, stupid shit ass ideas have the ability to blossom into just dumb, stupid shit ideas. Bits aside though, I think that right now these two games are so interesting in sort of explaining the current YouTube ecosystem as it exists right now. YouTube is no longer just a spot that you go to for fun, right? It's a legitimate way to branch off into other creative endeavors and to explore other things. Honestly, that's my goal. I'd love to be able to drop my job one day, commit full time to this, and then pick up even more creative hobbies on the side. Be that learning how to code a game, learning to cook way better, getting more into physical fitness, things that could either be potential professional jumping off points and ways to sort of like expand my repertoire, I can't say that word, or just fun things to do because I like doing fun things. I wish more YouTubers made video games. Obviously it's like fuck PewDiePie now and everything, but let's be honest here, Tuber Simulator was kind of fun, man. I think legitimately that YouTubers who go out of their way to explore other mediums, other ways of expression, is not only so foundational to what makes YouTube so cool as a platform, insofar as being able to express yourself how you want to, so long as YouTube thinks that you're worthy enough to get ads on your videos, but I also think that it's a testament to how much that these people may or may not legitimately care about just artistic expression, creating something fun for people to enjoy. And I think that despite its faults, Be Funny Now as a concept is so integral to that idea. It's made for fans, for people who want to have a good time, but might not even have the money for something that would be super pay-gated or anything like that. Again, look at the features here. Cosmetic only, optional in-app purchases with currency that you can get just by playing the game for free. Minimal ads, all while keeping the game pretty much free to play. And then you look at something like Pithee, and that's just a website, right? The only way you can support this thing if you wanted to is through going to Ko-fi. Kofi Kingston, Kofi Mania. This is someone who is legitimately putting in their cash just to give you something fun to do. And I think that that is so cool, so indicative of like JacksFilms as a creator, and any other creator I think should try to follow in those footsteps when they can. Create things for your fans, make something interesting that you want to make. Your fans are following you, they're watching you because of the fact that they like what you do. So just do whatever you want and have a good time doing it. That's what makes YouTube, in my opinion, one of the coolest jobs anyone can have, and why I'm striving to get there so much. I just love being creative, dog. And I think that seeing the fact that there are people out there who are willing to use their platform to just be as creative as possible is incredible. So overall, bottom line is, I think I did it. I squashed my beef with JacksFilms. So, cool. Oh, fuck, I blinked. Yo, thank you for watching. Stick with me for a couple moments here. I have some stuff I want to say and then we can bounce, right? You know, normally I do these like, oh, here's like a little update, like where my head's at, things like that. Here's how things are looking going forward from here. But the truth of the matter is, I'm recording this on July 17th, 2025. So, I don't know when this video is coming out, so I'm going to basically splice in a silly little like segment where I'm going over all the stuff I want to go over before this is like coming out. So like a much more updated version of whatever this is. So I'll have everything I want to say over there. Cool. Hey, what's up? So kind of interesting things are happening. Also, I'm probably just going to use the footage for like the whiteboard of general fulfillment from the last video because nothing's changed in between and I am lazy. But what I did want to say is that I did say I was going to start streaming and then I got a different job. Now basically I'm running a way better schedule though for more money, which means I can work on content creation nonsense more often, which means you can expect either the same or even maybe more streams. On top of that, I am also going to be able to put more energy into making videos consistently, which is something that I've always wanted to be able to do. Thank you to the person on the whiteboard. And yeah, I don't have a schedule set up for streaming just yet because I don't know what things are looking like because I just swapped over to my new job and I'm still trying to figure out the lay of things in my schedule and timeline and whatnot. Also, special announcement. On October 31st, I will be doing the Hollow Stream 2025, which if you don't know is a full day of streaming where I play as many different horror games as I can until I am too tired to continue to be entertaining. It's very fun. We're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff. I have big plans for it and everything. Very excited. Yeah, yay, yippee, woo! All right, that clip's over. Did you think it was cool? Did I have something cool to say? I sure hope so. And finally, Jack, you're not watching this, but if you were, right? I really hope this video wasn't taken as like genuinely offensive or like aggressive or anything like that. I was just playing up a bit, dog. I know I said that before using like a Death Grips joke earlier. I hope you have a good day, and I hope everybody who's watching this has a good day. Okay, bye. Bye, goodbye. See ya, farewell, goodbye. Bye. Hold up 1 second here. I forgot I need to like do something really quick. One second here. Right. Cool.
It's just one of those things.